Extreme here with a work of art. So I did not buy this because it was a statue. I bought it because it looked like a work of art. And the second I opened this sucker up and started putting him together, my suspicions were confirmed. This is not a statue, it is a frickin' work of art. And it's almost, it's not. I was gonna say it's getting old. It's not getting old. Prime 1, 1/3 DC is just killing it. They are the best in the game right now. So let's talk about this work of art. Extreme here with Prime 1, 1/3 scale, Deadman exclusive from their Dark Justice line. So this piece was, the concept was from Lee, who's also doing the Batman Damn pieces, the Joker. Interestingly enough, something I didn't know, I got this directly from Prime 1, economy shipping. So it looks like they put a little signed art print in it, which is okay, which is cool. As you guys know, I'm not an art print guy. It's cool that it's signed. I hope the damn Joker looks better than this, though. This looks kind of cheap. Even though it looks like Lee did sign it, which is cool. And it looks like marker, too. It's not a reproduction. But that'll stay with the box. Speaking of the box, so here is a picture of how big this motherfucking box was. I'm swearing a lot lately. I apologize. And here is a picture of the art box and the packaging. One unique thing here, they didn't use the traditional white styrofoam. It was the white meshy foam. And this sucker was wrapped like there's no tomorrow. So they had extra foam and masking tape all over him. So I suspect that their initial shipments had a lot of breakages. So it's cool they went above and beyond, and that's probably why they had the different packaging. Base is one piece. And then the rib bones on the front, and this bone right here are removable. Deadman is one piece minus his portrait, and both the base and Deadman are incredibly heavy. Probably some of the heaviest statues for the size that they are. So I purchased him because you guys know I have a ton of 1/3 DC statues from Prime 1, and as I said in the intro, they just continue to kill the sculpt, continue to kill the paint, continue to kill the concepts, and I just thought he looked amazing. And with the economy shipping, 30, 40 bucks, took 3 months to get here. I couldn't resist. And he's a character I don't know much about. So Deadman is actually in quite a few movies. Here's some.
Deadman walking! Deadman! Deadman walking! Deadman walking here!
We should be fucking dead, man.
I know, we was lucky.
No. That shit wasn't luck.
Yeah, maybe.
This was divine intervention.
Close to it. It melts tank armor. His metal skin must react to extreme heat.
I thought you said that thing was dead, man!
General, I gotta leave. I can't stay anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, there's a price on my head. If I don't pay off Jabba the Hutt, I'm a dead man.
Broke into my vault. Congratulations. You're a dead man.
Obviously, he's not in that movie. So it's clear that I don't know who Deadman was. I do remember Deadman growing up a little bit, and I always thought Deadman was a hero, a good guy. So a little bit of story. Deadman is actually a ghost. His name was Boston Brand, and he was a trapeze circus type guy. And he would dress in weird apparel and face makeup. Well, he was murdered, and then his ghost comes back. And he's really not that cool of a character, to be honest with you. He can possess people and, teleport and, do ghost-like stuff, and he's invisible. So he doesn't actually have a real body. And when I saw this piece, it really confused me because this looks like an evil villain. And he was part of the Dark Justice League. The Dark Justice League is not a anti-Justice League. It's just a Justice League with different members. They handled things a little bit differently. But he was part of that. But Deadman is actually a good guy. Kind of unique. And I purchased him knowing that he really won't go with anything in my collection. He will go in the 1/3 DC Prime 1 room, but he doesn't really pair with anything. But like I said, the cool thing about him is he is such a freaking cool work of art. I could display this by itself. And I think one thing that's kind of different about this guy is they have a regular version and an exclusive. So all the statues, they made 850, come with this portrait right here. However, 350 of them, the exclusive, come with this angry portrait. And to me, this is an exclusive or fail. That angry portrait, while it doesn't necessarily match the character, it makes this work of art amazing. The regular portrait does look good, but I will never display it with that. And like I said, it's weird because this really makes him look like a villain when in fact he's not. So retail price on this was $8.99 for the regular edition, $9.49 for the exclusive. And let me see the dimensions here. He is 31 inches tall, 10 inches wide, maybe a little bit wider with his arms, and 14 inches deep. For exact measurements, please go to Prime 1 or Sideshow's website. So that's kind of the background info on this guy. Really cool, really unique. He was easy to put together. He did come with directions that we don't use here at the Extreme channel. And let's get started with the concept and design, following up on some of the storyline behind Deadman. So here he is sitting, and the concept and design, like I said, this is to me where it doesn't really go with any other piece that Prime 1 has made, and I could be wrong. But he's sitting on a grave, his own grave. Not only is he sitting on Boston Brand's grave, but it's broken and there are dead people around it. So obviously makes sense, there's dead people in a graveyard, but there's skulls and rib bones and femurs and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he either just came out of his grave, so he's rising up, or he landed on it. He's kind of in this awkward, weird jump pose. So I don't know if this is a museum statue or if it's a dynamic statue or somewhere in between, which seems to be the case for a lot of statues lately. But again, to me it goes back to the fact it's kind of this work of art. And depending on which portrait you have, he's either pissed or happy or excited or whatever it is. And kind of a unique thing, you know, the concept here, his outfit looks, and this is, you know, kind of Lee's take on him. His outfit in the comics, at least some of the ones I've seen, doesn't quite look like human anatomy. This looks like the inside of a human body, like muscles and tendons and stuff like that. And one of the things you're going to see on the close-ups, his spine actually shows on the back. So it's like his costume and his the form of him, which he has no form because he's a ghost, so that's kind of weird, are all one. Really interesting take, and I think it makes it an awesome statue just because it's so weird. And to be honest with you, I will not be shocked if this becomes Grail status someday. Not Grail like 10 grand by any means, but if it's one of the few pieces of Prime 1 1/3 DC that hold their value, because many don't, unfortunately. But he's not very highly sought after either. But like I said, if you approach it as this is an amazing work of art, I think you'll be happy. And design-wise, no issues. Like I said, everything fit in really well. Interesting note, this leg on this bone is not keyed or pegged in. It's just this one right here, which is maybe why there's so much massive weight everywhere. But let's talk about the paint and sculpt. So I think, as I said, the concept is just really cool, and the paint and sculpt just exemplify that as well. Starting at the base down here, which I think the grave is okay, or it's good, but it's not as good as the rest of it. So starting at the grave, so the concrete rock and stone that it's made out of, certain parts are too smooth. I think they needed more texture. Certain parts are really good. They have perfect texture, and the paint is nice. It's this solid concrete gray color. I think some of the areas like where it's broken in the back, they could have done a little bit more, making it a little bit more jagged, but there's cracks all over and it's crumbling apart on the side. I actually just reviewed another Prime 1 piece that I think they did much better with some rock and concrete on the bottom. Maybe some moisture effects would have made this, you know, amazing. The bones, however, are amazing. These look like real frickin' bones of smaller animals. Don't let me tell you how I know that, but the texture on them is perfect. The anatomy of the bones, it's spot on. And then great coloring on here. I think Prime 1 did a fantastic job. It's interesting that they did put bones below him because he's not necessarily always violent. But again, it's kind of that dark Lee take on him. And you can see in the back, it does say his name, Here Lies Boston Brand. So definitely some good and bad stuff in the base. Not bad, but just not as good as the rest of the statue. You know, as I get more and more Prime 1 pieces in, the bar keeps going higher and higher, which, you know, is probably a good thing. But starting at Deadman here, so as I said, his costume is kind of his body. To me, it's kind of the same. Even though you get towards the top, it looks more like a costume. And it looks like this human anatomy where all the muscles are exposed. So I'm kind of going to jump all over, but starting at below his knees, so his legs look fantastic. He has really good anatomy, by the way, really slick, really muscular, powerful. And again, in the comics, he doesn't really have a body. But there's these striations in between the solid parts of red and black, and then there's some black fading on the solid parts. Looks like he's kind of wearing these dance shoes, which I'd rather, you know, which is accurate to his costume in the comics. And the coloring on this is just fantastic, makes it pop. Really cool. And the texture on these striations, just, you want to touch it, which you shouldn't touch statues too much. And that's the same, you know, on his calf muscles, his thigh muscles, his quads, his knees. Looks fantastic everywhere. Wears packages. And looking at the back here, his ass has these striations all over. And what's interesting is when you're looking at it from the side, his ass actually looks a little bit fuzzy. But then moving up his back, so first of all, very muscular still, which is great. And they use that same coloring and surface on the spine bones that they used on the bones on the grave, so looks really cool. Adds a little more freakiness to the statue, and I can't remember if that's comic accurate or not. And then back around to his torso, so he does have an 8-pack, and all around his 8-pack is this white and gray and black D for Deadman. And the striations, they go in different directions. So for example, in his 8-pack, they're up and down. On his chest, they're horizontal, left to right. And on the ends is where that, you know, darker black color is. Then checking out his arms here, again, the same kind of thing going on. The muscle striations in between the solid parts. Same awesome coloring, really cool anatomy. Definitely some ripped arms. His biceps, triceps, everything. His fingers look fantastic. And then looking at his collar, I like his collar, it really adds to it. And the striations are a little bit different on there. They're not as bulging out as they are on the rest of the body. So it kind of differentiates that, hey, this is actually a costume, it's not part of my body. And then we're going to look at the exclusive portrait only. So this exclusive portrait, it is very similar other than the mouth and eye expression to the regular portrait. So we'll just review this one because they have a lot of things in common. So first of all, looking at his neck muscles, kind of freaky. First of all, or second of all, I guess, the colors are just awesome. I love these dark gray and black colors mixed throughout, and it contrasts the rest of the red really well. And you see part of him kind of deteriorating and still has some of those muscle overlays that you saw on his outfit, but they're not red, they're gray and black. Awesome sculpt on his mouth, around his teeth, even though it's all that one same colorization. And then he has these freaking dead eyes that just look really, really cool. Kind of glistening back at you. And just great sculpt everywhere, showing that expression, his nose. Almost some veins you may or may not be able to see for his evil, evil sneer. So that's Deadman. I think he's a freaking awesome piece. Really happy I got him. Like I said, one day I probably will get out of statue collecting or tone it down a little bit, where I stop doing so many themes and stuff like that. He'll be one I just keep because it's just a freaking awesome work of art, even though I'm not in love with the character. So really hope you guys enjoyed this today. Please let me know what you think of Deadman. If I got anything wrong, I apologize. Please educate me, DC people. If you guys are interested, please subscribe. I have a lot of cool stuff like this. And also I post regular content in the Facebook groups, the Facebook statue groups. There's lots of great ones. I have my favorite one that I'm actually an admin in, tagged in my description. Go check that out. Say Mr. X sent you. But really appreciate you guys watching. So give me a like. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe. Check us out on Facebook. Thanks so much. Take care.